I'm not wearing a uniform, but I'm a nurse. Um, excuse my work clothes. I love to work in the garden. After all, isn't nature the real temple? Anyway, I've gotten some energy, so I'm taking a break from my chores. I've been awake since about 1 a.m., and when you're awake, you're awake. So recently I started to study again one of my favorite topics. You'll never guess what it is. Circumcision. Why? Because I love things that prevent sickness, suffering, and disease. Now, do you know that according to my sources online, that most births occur in September? So, if anyone just had a baby boy and you're trying to figure out if you should give your permission for the doctor to circumcise the child, let me tell you, yes. There are many sources online that explain and prove that there is less infection in a circumcised child. Also, um, there have been studies that have proved that circumcision prevents infection with sexually transmitted diseases. Now, let's say you weren't circumcised and you're older, you're an adult, you're a senior citizen, and you start having problems, and a circumcision at that age becomes necessary. Can you imagine the discomfort when you are fully grown? It is not a difficult minor surgery. It's very easy, but it's the recuperation that is extremely uncomfortable. I had an uncle who was not circumcised, and then all of a sudden, because of personal reasons I won't go into, he started getting infections, and he was forced to be circumcised at that age, but he did it. He had to. So let me explain the details, the logic. In the womb, the baby is surrounded by amniotic fluid, which is, believe it or not, mostly urine, the baby urinating. And urine contains urea, which is a substance containing nitrogen, and it's the breakdown of protein. So urea, I made some notes. Think of what urea can do to the skin if there were no foreskin on the baby in the womb. Urea is an irritant. It can cause stinging, itching, burning, allergic reactions, and swelling. Can you imagine? So nature, or if you're religious, the Almighty, placed the foreskin there in the womb to protect the baby boy's body, because the urea can immensely irritate that very delicate skin if there was no foreskin. Another thing, there is a greasy substance that the skin produces to protect the, the area at the end of the little boy's reproductive organ, the sensitive area. But if there was no foreskin, the greasy substance would not stay in that area protecting it. It would be diluted by all the liquid surrounding the baby. So yes, the foreskin is necessary, not after birth, but in the womb, very necessary. And after the baby is born, it's not needed anymore. And besides that, all of a sudden, something that was protecting the child in the womb has now become an obstacle to cleanliness, an obstacle that is just going to raise his risks for so many different conditions. So think about that. Now, the reason why certain religions circumcise on the 8th day is because the 8th day is when vitamin K, which is necessary for blood clotting, is most prevalent for the first time in the baby's body. So if you were to circumcise before the 8th day, you are taking a risk that there could be hemorrhaging, too much bleeding with the circumcision. So do it on the 8th day if you can. If you can't, do it after the 8th day. And I have a relative who said to me once that he wishes that he could have decided whether he is circumcised or not, but it wasn't decided by him, of course. He was just an infant. It was decided by his parents. And I said, well, but now you look better, you're healthier, and you don't look like a dog. He didn't say anything. That's my lesson for today, at least about circumcision. And think about it. Everything that nature does is for a reason.